And this is how we get down. What's good, everybody? Welcome into the Monday edition of the Coaching Company podcast. We do this show every single day, never longer than 20 to 30 minutes, but we support the morning show on Stadium and Bally Sports Live and get a little bit deeper from a sports perspective, sometimes a betting perspective, but at my core, and I know for a lot of you out there, I'm a sports fan. Yeah, I love sports betting, but I love sports in general. And coming off a rather uneventful Saturday in college football, you had some teams that needed to win that did. You had, Indiana blowing out a top 10 opponent if they really were in Illinois. But this weekend was really all about the NFL. And I went back and looked at every single game. And normally my boy SVP at ESPN, he has his world famous Bad Beats segment. I believe it's every Monday now. And I thought yesterday, we never look at it from the other side. We never look at it from, well, what about the team that actually did the bad beating? Because I got caught up in yesterday. So I made a list of the bad beats yesterday from the worst to the least worst, I guess, if you can look at it that way. And I want you to think about it from both perspectives. The first one, clearly, you got to go to Philadelphia. Because the Eagles, who have the most annoying fan base in all of the NFL, and it's not close, they won another one. But it wasn't just the fact that they won the game, it's how they won the game. And I was on the Rams, and I bought it to like 4.5 or 5. That number doesn't matter because of the way this game ended. They were up 26-7. So if I'm giving 5, that's essentially like being up 31-7 in the third quarter. It's all good. You're looking great. You're showing the world we're a really legit team. Who cares about the wins over the Texans and the Titans? We're about to beat the defending champs. And then Greg Olsen, who was announcing the game, he says, I don't know why they don't just keep it simple and start throwing it to A.J. Brown. And then that's exactly what they did. I believe he ended up with 6 catches, over 100 yards. But it was the way he caught them. Most of them, I think all of them were in the second half. And when he started doing that, the rest of the team rallied around it. But even then, they were up 26-21. So they're still up by 5, and they're lining up to kick a field goal. They have the field goal block, but they're still up by 5. As far as the coverage is concerned, we're good. And then down comes Philadelphia, a couple of third down conversions. They score a touchdown. Still good. 2-point conversion, not good. So we're not even worried about overtime. We're up by 1, or down by 1, rather, if you're on the Rams, which I was. And then they come down, and Puka Nacua, showing once again why he is an all-pro. Puka Nacua, and I'm trying to find the game. Oh, it's an early game. That's why I'm not looking in the right spot. I want to make sure and get his numbers correct because this guy, he had 11 catches, 112 yards yesterday. 11 catches. And I believe 3 or 4 of those were on the final drive, and they were difficult. This guy is an absolute stud. He got the worst taunting penalty ever because they're trying to crack down on the whole, flexing thing and the spinning the football thing. He did both, but he didn't do it at anybody. And they said that he did, so they backed that up 15. But regardless, we're down 1 and lining up for a long field goal with 3 seconds to go on the game. Remember, we're getting 4.5 or 5, and we're down 1, and we're kicking the field goal. And inexplicably, another blocked field goal, as the announcers say, for the first time in 17 years. The Eagles blocked 2 field goals in the same game. I could have dealt with that. But then when Big Boy, the ball perfect bounce right back to him, takes it to the house with no time left. He didn't even need to do it. He could have just fallen down. Now, that's going to be one of the great highlights for that guy's career, and not for the Rams. They don't even kick the extra point, and they win 33-26 on the last play of the game. So now the Eagles are 3-0. They continue to dodge the proverbial bullets. They've now beaten Dallas, Kansas City, and the Rams. Dallas, Kansas City, and the Rams. They travel to Tampa Bay next Sunday. Their bye week is not until week 9. The rest of their schedule prior to the bye week, you couldn't have set it up any better because they still have to play all the weak teams in their division. At Tampa, home to Denver. I'll get to Denver in a second. At the Giants, at Minnesota, and home to the Giants. So if they can get past Tampa Bay and Denver, they will go into the bye week at 8-0. That's a fact. Horrible beat, number 1. Now, bad beat number 2. And I got a bunch of these. I could talk for 3 hours. I'm not going to, but I could. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I made a screenshot of this so I'd make sure and read it correctly. Because Baker Mayfield has proven the last couple of years he's a great franchise quarterback. He's a great team guy. He's a great leader. He headbutts his linemen. He's all good. Through the first 2 weeks, a lot of criticism, though. Oh, they're not as good as they were the last couple of years. Last second win against Atlanta. And then last week, and I'm drawing a blank, so I'll pull it up here. Last week, Tampa beat, that's right, Houston on the 8 seconds to go in the game, one of the 2 Monday night games. So they became the first team in NFL history with a game-winning score in the final minute of the fourth quarter in each of their first 3 games. Think about that. In the final minute of all 3 games, they have scored to win the game. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, but weren't they up 23-6, laying 4.5 or 5, just like the spread in the Eagles game? Oh, yes, they were. Yes, coach, they were. So how in the world do they not cover a 4.5-point spread? Well, the Jets scored, go down by 10. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm fine with that. Then they kick a field goal, and it was a mess. But the bottom line is that they were up by 5, I believe was the number, 26-20. They were kicking to go up by 8 or 9. I want to make sure that I get this right. And inexplicably, again, that's the word that keeps getting stuck in my mind. The Jets blocked the field goal. The dude leaps over the line, blocks the field goal, scoops it, and takes it back to the house. And they go up 27-26. It was 26-20 at that point. The field goal would have made it a 9-point game. So even if the Jets would have come down, kicked the field goals, you got to do the whole 2-score thing. Normally, they'll kick the field goal and try to get the onside kick to save time. But now it's 27-26, and Baker Mayfield has to come down. They kick a field goal with no time left and win again 29-27. So the Jets now have 2 2-point losses this year. And the Bucs, as I just read that stat, they are now 3-0, leading their division. And think about their division. Carolina, who did blank the Falcons yesterday, 30-0. The Falcons clearly stink. And the Saints lost in Seattle 44-13. That's the rest of their division. Tampa Bay should not be worried about winning their division. They're going to have 6 dubs just against their own division. They only need 3 or 4 more. Probably not even that many, to be honest with you. They need to worry about, can we get a higher seed? Can we get home field? Can we be better than Philadelphia, than Detroit, than the Packers? That's where I'm going to go next. Because the Packers were laying 6 yesterday. The Packers were playing the Cleveland Browns yesterday on the road. They were playing like crap, but they were still up 10-0 because Joe Flacco and the Browns are terrible. So I'm laying 6. Cleveland comes down. They have it at the 2. I'm thinking, backdoor cover. Here we go again. But wait a second. 15-yard penalty. We're good to go. Hold them to a field goal, 10-3. All we got to do is run out the clock. Because there's no way that Cleveland, with less than 4 minutes to play, is going to go for a field goal. I'm still good laying the 6 until the announcers curse. And Jordan Love on 3rd down throws it right to a player wearing a Browns jersey. Touchdown, tied at 10. Packers drive down to the 25, lining up a game-winning field goal to have one of the ugliest wins of the year. But hey, that's what you got to have when you're chasing a number one seed. Until they what? Everybody say it with me. A blocked field goal again. 3 games in a row that I'm talking about had blocked field goals yesterday. Cleveland gets the ball. They drive down. Another walk-off win, this time by the Cleveland Browns. If the Packers either A, don't make the playoffs, B, don't get your number one seed, C, all of the above, they can look at yesterday as the reason for it. It's not just about how they lost yesterday. It's a mojo thing. It's a vibe thing. Having a win like that or a loss like that can severely change your attitude. It can change your vibe. It can change your motivation. It can change a lot of things. It's not just about that one game. So 13-10, Packers fall to 2-1. Cleveland improves to 1-2, and this will do a lot for them. Now, they're in a division they can't win because you have the Ravens, who I think are one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the entire league. You've got the Steelers, who are now 2-1 after their win yesterday. And then you've got the Cincinnati Bengals, who are 2-1. But we saw what happens when Joe Burrow does not play quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals. 48-10, Minnesota beat the Bengals yesterday. If I'm Jamar Chase, this is why I didn't want to sign an extension. This is why that I was forced into demanding my bag, because they weren't going to send me anywhere. But Joe Burrow has proven, and a lot of it's just not being lucky. Injuries a lot of the time, especially you're talking about turf toe, there's not a whole lot you can do to prevent that. So it's not Joe Burrow's fault, but it does not take away the fact that he is very, very injury prone. And every time he gets hurt, Cincinnati loses another season. If I'm Jamar Chase, I'm thinking, what do I have to do to play on a team where my quarterback can stay healthy, play on a team where I've got a good backup, play on a team that can make the playoffs and do damage in the playoffs? What does he have to do? If I'm Trey Hendrickson, I got my $14 million raise. I'm making $30 million a year. I'm done after this year. I would actually sacrifice a little bit of money not to play in Cincinnati. Because in the NFL, you shouldn't have to fight an owner who is cheap when you have a salary cap and everybody's making billions of dollars. But they don't want to pay anybody. And this is kind of a result of that. Karma, if you will, 48-10. All right. So we did the Eagles. Good win. We're not calling them bad. Good win. We did the Bucks. Good win. We did the Browns. Good win. Then one of my other best bets that I followed. Again, on the show yesterday, I was 3-1. I encourage you to come and cash with the coach. But I did play. This was one of Mikey P's best bets. And it was the right side. It was the right play. The over 49 or 50, the number moved throughout the day. But regardless, they had 38 points at halftime. It was 24-14. Everything was rolling. Everything was working. Except Dallas, Dak, and the fact that CeeDee Lamb went down again with what looked like a fairly significant sprain. And when he's out in the first quarter, it makes it very, very difficult for Dallas in that offense. But you would think that 2 touchdowns is all we need in the second half. That's it. And normally when you have a big lead by one team over Dallas, who could score, Dallas scored 40 last week. Scoring touchdowns has never been an issue for the Dallas Cowboys. Week 1, they scored 20 against the Eagles, could have scored over 30. So I'm thinking, man, this is a lock. I'm good to go. They get stopped, I believe it was an interception in the third with about 10 minutes to go. And then the Bears proceed to go on the longest drive of the season in the league. 9+ minutes, 17 plays. Now, they did get a touchdown. So at the end of 3, it was 31-14. All we need is one score. So I'm still feeling good. 11-10, tick, 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 tick. And the Cowboys get down to the 1. third down on the 1, about 5 minutes to go. I'm like, whew, man, I'm I'm good. A little sweaty, but I'm good. And they proceed to run a fade from the 1 on third down. But hey, don't even worry about it. We're going to go for it on fourth. We're going to run it this play because the defense was all spread out. They run another fade sort of type of route. So they get stopped. And I'm sitting there going, what in the world is going on? But alas, they make another stop. And now Dak's not even in the game. They bring in the backup. I think it was Hilton, the former quarterback at Tennessee. And they're running the ball. And I'm saying to myself, there's 2.5 minutes to go. You're down 17. At least try the 2-minute offense with your backup quarterback. Give him some real time. And then they started throwing it around. It's like, okay, this guy's throwing bullets. They get down inside the 8. I'm like, okay, this is going to be one of those games where I'm like, all right, we scored that meaningless touchdown. They throw the score up on the screen. We're all good. Another interception. Did I mention that Dak threw one in the end zone also in the second half? I didn't. He did. And then Hilton does too. So the Bears hold the Cowboys scoreless in the second half. Scoreless. They win 31-14. Bears fans are ecstatic. They cover the spread. It was right around even, -1, something like that. But it's the way the Cowboys lost. And take my fan and my bet out of it. When you look at it from a football point of view, Cowboys are in trouble. Cowboys are in trouble. When your best players continue to get hurt. And I love Brian Schottenheimer actually as a head coach. I love his fiery nature on the sidelines. I like when they score a big touchdown. He gives you that fist pump. That's what I want out of my head coaches. I want guys that are not too cool for school. Guys that you cannot tell that they don't want to be there. And he's a guy, he's into it. Way more into it, at least from what I'm seeing, than Mike McCarthy was. But when you can only score 14 against a Bears team who was 0-2, and you have, and as we look at it, a schedule that's you're always going to get a lot of primetime games. They're just super, super, super positive. And then you get the obligatory cutaway to Jerry Jones in the suite when they know they have lost. You know, that shot that they do all the time when they're getting their stuff together because they've already lost. It's awful. And then as the football gods would give us next Sunday Night Football, guess who's coming to town? Guess who's going to be walking in the front door of AT&T Stadium? And instead of going right to the Cowboys locker room, we're going left to the visitors. That's right, the Green Bay Packers and Micah Parsons. And they're not going to be happy after losing to the Cleveland Browns yesterday. So how many stories, how many different ways to tie Micah Parsons to this game are we going to see this week? A million. But when it comes right down to it, Jordan Love loves playing in this stadium. A couple of years ago in the playoffs, he came in as a youngster and absolutely laid the wood to the Cowboys. I mean, laid the wood. He loves this field. And how motivated do you think Micah Parsons is going to be? He got his bag. He got his 47 mil. And now he gets to play for a team that has a much higher ceiling than his old squad, the Cowboys. So that'll be a lot of fun. We've been going live on Sunday evenings the last couple of weeks. I have a feeling we'll be going live next Sunday night. Just a hunch. Just a hunch. So how many is that? 3 or 4? We never go longer than 30 minutes here. I told you I could talk for 3 hours. That's how many incredible games there were yesterday. So what about the 49ers and the Cardinals? They were one of the, I think, 2 matchups between 2 2-0 teams. Maybe the only one. And Kyler Murray has made it a career out of not being a guy that A, can't cover, and B, can't win big games. And this is why people question him being such a high pick in the draft a few years ago. Yesterday, they had the ball and the lead on 3rd and 9. And I thought they had completed the pass. If they complete that pass, the game's over. 2 minutes to go. He threw a good ball. It's not necessarily his fault. My point is that when he leads, there's no like guttiness. There's no fire. There's no him walking around on the bench saying, "Come on, guys, we've got a chance to win in San Francisco." But instead, he just hangs out by himself, makes a few good plays. But when you really, really need it, Kyler Murray can't come through. That's been over and over and over. And then on the other side, give Mac Jones a lot of credit. He got hurt throughout the game, stayed in the game, and then led that game-winning drive long past the CMC, setting up the game-winning field goal. I think yesterday we had four walk-offs yesterday. That's a lot. 4 walk-offs. And what I mean by that is field goals that when they're kicked, by the time they land, the game's over. There's no time left. 4 games yesterday ended that way, including that one. Another one that did as well is the Broncos and the Chargers. And if you're a Broncos fan, this one hurts. The last 2 weeks really, really hurt. You very easily could have been 3-0. Last week, they had the game won 2 or 3 different times against the Indianapolis Colts, who, by the way, scored 41 yesterday. Danny Dimes. I'm done with the Danny Dimes treatment. I've never been one of those people, but this guy can play quarterback. And now he's in a position to do so. And he's showing out and showing up. 41-20. They're 3-0. But the Broncos are now 1-2 because after losing last week to the Colts in that fashion, yesterday they're down 10-0. They come back. They take a 20-13 lead, less than 3 minutes to play, in a great position to win the game. And then Justin Herbert proves why he's a top 2 or 3 quarterback in the league. He threw a touchdown pass to Keenan Allen, sideways, running the wrong way, sideways across his body, and put it right between the 1 and the 3. They go to overtime. No, they don't. Because the Broncos come in and Sean Payton decides that he wants to have a 3-and-out. He goes deep twice, doesn't connect, and they run 20 seconds off the clock, maybe something like that. Chargers get it back. Hey, Bear has now moved into a category with the Mahomeses, the Josh Allens, the Lamar Jacksons, that if you give him the rock and 2 minutes, he's going to do something with it. That's how good this guy's become. He scores the touchdown, gets the ball back, drives down, and set up the squad. And this was these small little details, too, that I look for when I'm watching a game. They had the ball at the 40, which would have been a 57-yard field goal. So they had one timeout left, so they run it or give it to McConkey, one of those two, and get it down to the 30. So now it's a very makeable instead of this nonsense that continues to be an issue in the league of kickers are so good, we only got to get on the other side of midfield. Well, just ask the Broncos how that went last week when they were called for a penalty as the Colts played for a 60-yard field goal. You can't play for it. If that's what you get, okay. But you can't play for it. And yesterday, thank goodness the Chargers didn't play for it. They wanted to get as far down as possible. And they did. And they won 23-20. It was an unbelievable day. An unbelievable day. That's just a few of the games that happened yesterday. And this is why we love the NFL. All right, we're here on the podcast every single weekday around 11:15 a.m. Eastern time. Do not forget, all on the side of the screen right there. Become a premium member. We have a lot of extra content. We have a separate 5 or 10-minute episode every single day. It pays for itself. Then, if you want to get a piece of merch, I encourage you to do so. Take a picture in it. Send it to us. We'd love to get you right up on the show. And then also become a member of JTS because there's a lot of extra tools in the toolbox, tons of data, tons of numbers. I use them all the time. And I'm telling you right now, you'll be glad that you did. One of the things, too, when you're talking about becoming a premium member or a member at a place like Just the Stats Sports is, yes, it costs. We're a business. But when you're in sports betting, you look at it and say, are they paying me back? And that's what I hope you look at when you come and ride with us. that we're winning you enough. We don't stand in the world of we win 75% of the time. Nobody does that. But hopefully we win enough for you that not only do you win, but also you feel inclined to join all the places that we are. All right, that's going to do it for now. I will see you guys this afternoon on Off the Ropes, Sirius XM, channel 156 from 2 to 4 Eastern, or you could watch the guys from Weekday Wagers at 2 o'clock right here on our Coaching Company YouTube channel. Just getting started. I love this so much. Have a great day. We'll see you on our next show. For Producer Man, I am the coach. This has been Coach and Company, the podcast, and there's only one. Take care.